Usually I come on here, guys, and I have all kinds of stats written down, all kinds of big plays in these games to break down for you guys. But this one, what's there really to say? The Raptors go out there against the 6-20 Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota had lost 4 straight going into this game, not playing well, not winning, just really not feeling any confidence. One of the bottom teams in basketball in offensive rating and defensive rating. And the Raptors allow this team to drop 116 points. And you lose 116-112 to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet after the game, you can clearly see something's wrong with this team. And it's not a locker room issue. I think it's just this team is not what they used to be. Everyone's trying to make this team out to be the 2019 champions. This clearly is not that team anymore. They've lost a lot of guys. We thought that maybe Aaron Baines would fill the void of Gasol and Ibaka. That clearly is not the case. Fred VanVleet, inconsistent shooting. Pascal Siakam, inconsistent. And you're just not playing good defense. This team back in 2019, where are they? There they are. The 2019 champs, they were one of the best defensive teams in basketball. Nobody could do anything against them. Look at what they did to guys like Embiid and Giannis in the playoffs when it mattered most. They didn't give him an inch. Marc Gasol, guys, we all know what he did to Joel Embiid. He leaves. Look at Embiid's numbers this year against the Raptors. Through the roof. Because they don't have a guy who can guard him. They don't have Kawhi. They don't have all these players. This team is not what they used to be. They've tried to patch things up. You lose this guy? All right, well, patch it with this guy. Well, they're clearly not good enough. And you hear from Lowry and you hear from Fred VanVleet after the game, and they're both saying, there's really no excuses anymore. I mean, we could sit here and say, we got to be better, but in the end, we're doing everything we can, and it's not enough. And I think for me, and I think every Raptor fan can attest to this, it's not really the offensive end that's the problem. You dropped 112 today. I think you had 3 guys in 20-plus figures. Maybe 2 of them. I think it was 3. And you lost. Pascal, yes, I understand people. Pascal had a chance at the end there. Oh, and it rimmed out. Oh, he should have had it and it should have gone down. And everyone's going to point fingers at Pascal Siakam, right? Everyone's going to point. But in the end, I don't know what happened there. In the end, that's what I was going for. You gave him 116 on the defensive end. That's what lost you the game. Not Pascal missing the last shot. Would it have helped to tie it at 114? Of course it would have. But it didn't happen. You should not have been in that scenario. If you want to be a playoff team and you want to be a contending team, you can't allow that kind of stuff to happen. Why were the Raptors so good last year? Why was their record so dominant? Teams that you should beat, like the Timberwolves, you beat down to a pulp. Look at the record against sub-500 teams last year. It was insane. They barely lost because they went out there, took care of business, and did what they had to do. This year, it's a different story. Raptors now are 12-15 on the season. Let's break this game down real quick for the numbers that I do have here. First quarter, Minnesota was +1, 27-26. Again, 1-point game, whatever. It's first quarter kind of feel-out process. In the second quarter, Raptors get their offense going a little bit. But again, that wasn't the issue. 32 in that quarter. They scored 27 again. You're up by 4 heading into halftime. Much as you haven't played a great defensive quarter, you are still up by 4 heading into halftime. You're doing all right. You got to come out of the break with the same intensity. Well, they do not. And the problem with this Raptors squad, and we've talked about it all year long, we've talked about it for years even. This Raptor team feeds off of their defense. They get stops. They run it down the throat of the other team. And that is where this team is at their very best. But what happens when you don't get stops and you got to play 5-on-5 defense or 5-on-5 offense? The Raptors are not very good. In that third quarter, they allow 37. So you're not getting those stops. So you have to put your offense 5-on-5. You only scored 25. You're minus 12. 12 in the quarter, and you're down by 8 going into the fourth. Yeah, they make it close, and you should not have been down by 8 going into the fourth quarter against a team like that. You have the 4-point lead at the half, beat these guys down, bury them, and call it a night. It didn't happen. The Raptors could not get stops when they needed to, right? It's not about who gets the most stops and who gets this. It's the timely stops. It's the timely buckets. And the Raptors just were not getting those in the fourth quarter. They are a horrendous team when trailing in the fourth. Now, it's obviously means you have to come back and win, but this team has been so good at that in the past. They're clearly not that team anymore. Right? And they lose that fourth quarter they win the fourth quarter 29-25, but you lose by 4. That horrendous third quarter killed you. It absolutely killed you. And these are the numbers that absolutely make me go nuts. And I keep talking about how this team is not a bad offensive team, but their defense is atrocious. These numbers suggest this. Every time we play one of these bad teams or not superstar teams, and they shoot great, we keep hearing how, they're not a great shooting team, but they're shooting well tonight, blah, 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 blah. Well, it's the same thing we're hearing every night now. The Minnesota Timberwolves, as I mentioned earlier, one of the worst teams in basketball, I think the bottom 5 at least, in field goal percentage, in three-point percentage. They're not a very good shooting team. They shoot 52% from the game. 52 for the game. They shoot 41% from 3. And that's not just all out of luck. They're getting looks. And they're knocking down wide open shots, as most people can. In this day and age in the NBA, if you can't guard the 3, you're not going to be a good team. Early in the year, I said the keys to victory. Have the Raptors do this, and defend the 3-point shot. Well, the Raptors are clearly not a good defensive ball club from beyond the arc. They allow 41% in this game. All right, well, they weren't great defensively, but the Raptors are not a bad offensive club. Well, they struggled today. They shot 42% from the field and 30% from 3. At that point, you're relying on your defense to get the stops. And the way this team is playing this year and the way this team is now, they can't do that. And ladies and gentlemen, I mean, everyone's talking about going after Drummond and going after this big man or going after this. It's not a one-player fix. Anybody who thinks we're going to go after Andre Drummond and we're a better team now. Playoff team, here we go, playoffs, bring on the Bucks. No. It's not a one-player fix. I don't know what has to be done, but it's not an Andre Drummond fix. Something's got to give. I don't know what it is. The only player in this game who had a half-decent stat line offensively, Norman Powell. And that seems to be the consistent factor. Obviously, he didn't have a great game in Boston, but you're going to have an off night here and there. He bounces back with a great game today. 22 points, 5 boards, 1 assist on 8 of 12 shooting. He shot the ball well. He's one of the only Raptors to shoot the ball well today. But that's not the premise, though. The premise is you didn't play defense. And they haven't played defense all year long. And it doesn't get any easier. Because now you got to go to Milwaukee. Enough said. Tuesday night, 8 p.m. in Milwaukee. That's all there is to it, all right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and didn't enjoy the game today and are just really frustrated right now with Raptor basketball, hit that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, your thoughts on the game. As we get closer and closer to trade deadline, what do you think this team should do? Should they go one way or should they go the other way? Let me know, guys, in the comments below. Twitter is down below for myself as well. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. Also, the Instagram link is down in the description, so follow up there if you have not done so already. And I will talk to you guys. Leafs edition, they play Ottawa tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's 7 or 7:30 puck drop there. As a Leaf, they play Ottawa, I think, 3 times in a row this week, so it's crazy. Game 1 goes tomorrow night, all right, as the Leafs look to get back in the win column after that tough loss against Montreal there last night. All right, and as for the Raptors, as I mentioned, their next game is on Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Tip-off there against the Milwaukee Bucks in Milwaukee. It ain't going to be easy. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys then.